played in the stadium in the build-up to this match, rather than the usual pre-match fare. But the two teams will take the field to the strains of Belfast Boy in tribute to the Manchester United icon who was laid to rest today. Anyone who doubts the extended nature of this period of grieving needs only to have witnessed the scenes in Belfast today. The streets lined with so many people whose lives George Best touched. This is his spiritual home in England. There have been floral tributes laid outside Old Trafford, and now Manchester United hope for a performance worthy of his memory. After 9 matches out with a fractured cheekbone, Ryan Giggs is welcomed back into the Manchester United fold today. Giggs was one of the candidates to succeed Roy Keane as captain. The man given that honour, Gary Neville, isn't in the 16. A slight thigh injury sees him saved for the Champions League game against Benfica on Wednesday. So Ruud van Nistelrooy retains the armband today, and Giggs for Darren Fletcher is the only difference from the team that won at West Ham.
Well, having seen United's last 2 games, Rob, you have to say this side seem to have got the show back on the road. I think from back to front they've looked fluent, confident, and the big thing for me is there's a real desire now again to succeed. I'd certainly expect them to have the lion's share of possession, so it's important that they move the ball around well at a tempo that Portsmouth can't cope with. The front two, I'm sure, will sense goals, and certainly in Rooney and Van Nistelrooy, United have 2 players banging form.
Harry Redknapp will find plenty of familiar faces if, as expected, he returns to Portsmouth next week. If Richard Hughes had been fit, the majority of the team today would have been Redknapp signings. But Hughes has tonsillitis, so his replacement John Theophara's presence means that of the starting 11, 5 were brought in by Alan Perrin, 5 by Redknapp, and Gary O'Neill's association with the club goes back beyond both.
Well, this football club seems to be constantly dogged by controversy, and while I'm not offering that as an excuse for this set of players, it can't have helped, Rob. Everyone on this side are going to have to put in a massive performance if they're to get anything out of this game today. I think the back four will need plenty of protection from that midfield area, and I think the key will be whether Portsmouth can condense that space between defence and midfield, and certainly not allow Wayne Rooney to drift and pick up possession and certainly do the damage to them, what he seems to have been doing against most sides this season.
Chris Hoy is the man in charge of the first league game here since George Best died. Wednesday against West Brom was the silence. Today is the celebration. And there is to be a minute of applause on the referee's whistle to mark the Manchester United legend's passing.
This applause is from all of us, and it is with our thanks and appreciation for one of the greatest players ever to grace football. We'll now hand you over to the referee.
Well, George Best's legacy in death is a rethink on how we celebrate lost icons in the sporting arena, and the move away from the sombre silence to the respectful but more uplifting applause that's already favoured elsewhere in Europe, and that's been enjoyed here today. Well, what a week it's been on the south coast. Milan Mandrić now seeking the 8th manager of his reign. Indications are that he'll turn the clock back to Harry Redknapp, whose last Premiership win as Portsmouth manager was against Manchester United. But what a task it is for the caretaker boss, Joe Jordan, and his side here at Old Trafford today, a place where they haven't won since the late 50s. Here's Rio Ferdinand, and now John O'Shea. This is Mikel Silvestre. Amidst all the grief, Manchester United have been ploughing on in the respective competitions in which they're playing, unbeaten in 5 matches in all competitions since the traumatic away defeats to Middlesbrough and Lille. They've won their last 3 in the Premiership. London treble against Chelsea, Charlton and West Ham. Swung in by Smith. Scholes was free. Portsmouth got lucky. Here's Giggs. Scholes goes near. Van Nistelrooy! That's a good start from the home side. Here's Griffin. Here's Salif Jab. Taylor. And this is Andy O'Brien, who might have been a doubt earlier in the week. He had a virus, but only missed 1 day's training in the end.
Certainly a big let-off, wasn't it? 2 excellent opportunities. A little reminder there that Portsmouth need to do their defensive duties with a lot of diligence and a little bit more belief, because I think if Paul Scholes had got after that, there may well have been some reward for him here. But this is arguably a terrific piece of defending there from Stefanovic, that just does enough against Ruud van Nistelrooy. Maybe, just maybe, if Van Nistelrooy had gone at that with a little bit more belief, there might have been something there for him.
Griffin under pressure from Park. But Park didn't give up on it, and it pays off as he finds Rooney. And Nistelrooy shot in the end, and Ashdown, for a moment, looks set to spill at the feet of Scholes.
It's a snapshot, isn't it, from the edge of the box. And great foraging, really, by Park. That's the type of thing that he's in this side for, really. Never gives defenders a moment's peace, and very nearly resulted in a goal for United. Their recent performances, as I said at the top, Rob, have been absolutely outstanding. They've moved the ball around quickly, making it very difficult for the opposition. And already they've carved out a couple of chances for themselves.
Break for Gary O'Neill at the other end as he looked to carve out an opening for Portsmouth. O'Neill scored here last season. And Portsmouth, back in February, beaten by 2 Wayne Rooney goals. Busy day for Sir Alec Ferguson, who was in Belfast to attend the funeral of George Best before coming back to oversee proceedings here tonight. It's Griffin. Ferdinand. Scholes to O'Shea. And O'Brien got the touch, and his goalkeeper come a long way, and a real breakdown in communication between defender and goalkeeper.
Jamie Ashdown made his mind up very quickly that he'd get after this ball. Clearly Andy O'Brien thought that he was going to just hold his ground. A bit messy at the moment, isn't it, from Portsmouth?
Crosses in towards Van Nistelrooy. Silvestre was there, so to O'Shea. And in the end, lashed against his face.
Well, they've had a couple of let-offs. Portsmouth could have no complaints if they found themselves 1, maybe 2 down already so early in this game. You know, I said at the very top, Rob, that they need to give big performance here today. They need to concentrate fully. They need good protection, that back four and goalkeeper. At the moment, United are getting at them far too comfortably.
O'Shea has scored in his last couple of matches, and Portsmouth have now lost 3 in a row, and they haven't scored in any of them since that 4-1 victory at Sunderland. Over 4 3/4 hours now without a goal since Dario Silva scored at the Stadium of Light.
Confidence is bound to be low with this Portsmouth side. You know, it's been an awful season for them, and I'm sure Joe will be the first person to recognise that they need to get things sorted out very quickly. As George was saying at the very top, Rob, you know, this football club now needs a period of consistency, really, as far as the management is concerned. They just haven't had that, and they've suffered because of it.
Here's Park. Now Brown. Cleared by Griffin. Taylor under pressure from Wes Brown. Now pushed by Silva to O'Neill, but given away to Ferdinand, and Portsmouth have been giving it away too cheaply. Now Salif Jow. This is Brian Prisk looking to break forward with it. Lualua came short. Lualua having to resist Rooney. To O'Brien. United pressing really well. Good work though from Lualua. Look for Silva. He can bring it under control.
That's the area for me, Rob, that Portsmouth needs to be a lot more careful. We know the abilities of Lualua, and I think Silva, when I've seen him this season, is a very willing and capable runner up top, but they need to hold the ball for as long as they possibly can, just to give the back four a break.
Badly given away to Lualua. Wes Brown relieved.
I talked about Portsmouth's concentration levels, and certainly Manchester United need to be better than that particular Wes Brown. He just got himself back in the side, and he'll be playing himself out of it if he carries on giving the ball away like that, because the manager won't be particularly happy.
Had an Achilles injury that kept him out at the start of the season, Brown, and he's shuffled between right back and the centre of defence in his return.
I thought he did very well, actually, when he went to centre back against West Ham. Silvestri was having a torrid time against Marlon Harewood last Sunday, and Wes Brown came in and played alongside Rio Ferdinand, and just shored things up a wee bit for United at the back.
A bit of a confrontation between Wes Brown and Matt Taylor. A quiet word from the referee to just calm matters down. Here's Griffin. Given away to Ferdinand. Here's Smith. Now Scholes. O'Shea advancing here to his left. Looking to get in Ryan Giggs to Cardo.
It's always going to be a difficult ball for John O'Shea to play. You know, Ryan Giggs gave him the option really to try and play it in behind Prisk. So far it's been interesting, some of the positions that Giggs has found himself in. He's not played as an out-and-out left winger at the beginning of this game. He tends to have come inside and make it difficult really for the fullback to track his runs.
Giggs back in the team 4 days after his 32nd birthday. What a great servant he's been to Manchester United. Taylor. Here's Lamana Lualua. And Taylor. Tenacity on display again from Alan Smith.
I think he seems to be getting better and better, Alan Smith, in that position. I know that a lot of people had their doubts about whether he could convert successfully from a centre forward to a central midfield player, and particularly take over the role of Roy Keane, but seems to steadily be getting better and more accustomed to that position.
O'Neill's ball in. Beyond the reach of Dario Silva.
Decent enough. I think he's a big player for Portsmouth, Gary O'Neill. Finds himself in a central midfield position today. And the energy that he can bring to that area can certainly support the front two. At times, though, Salif Jow's going to get other players to help out if O'Neill is going to go forward.
Here's Stefanovic with the free kick. Silva jumps early and Silvestre gets it away. Here's Viafara. He's picking out O'Brien. That's away by John O'Shea. Mr. Roy uses out to Salif Jab. Here's O'Brien. On to Dario Silva. Scholes came back. That's Wes Brown looking long for Rooney. Put away those by Stefanovic. Now Giggs. And here's Scholes. Smith. Brown. Switch aim to pick out John O'Shea, and does eventually, but he's put it straight into the path of Viafara here. To O'Neill.
This will help the confidence of Portsmouth, just stringing a few passes together on.
Taylor, who's bent it in, looking for Dario Silva. Manchester United set off at a real pace, but Portsmouth have started to lift their game again. Joe Jordan, of course, a former Manchester United player, and Sir Alec Ferguson said prior to this game that Portsmouth played in the mould of their manager, and United would be in for a very hard game today. Here's Park, now Rooney. This is Brown. Around the back is Ryan Giggs. And here's O'Shea. Rooney waited for O'Neill to commit himself and goes on! Blazes it just wide.
Terrific passage of play, wasn't it, from the home side? Great possession. Portsmouth got slightly fortunate, really, when the strike from Giggs maybe hit the post, or certainly decent save from the goalkeeper, and then finally Rooney on the edge of the box. That's what I was saying earlier, you can't give him this time and room. 18, 20 yards from goal. But this was the earlier chance from Ryan Giggs, just lets the ball drop over the head of Prisk, and they get a little bit fortunate there, Portsmouth.
There's O'Neill. Salif Jab. Taylor. Silva. Loire.
Done reasonably well, I think. In a lot of respects, both managers will be reasonably happy with the start that their sides have made. Man United have had 2 or 3 decent chances, some good play. Portsmouth have had a couple of scares, but other than that, I think they've tried to build up nice and slowly and patiently, and just trying to take the sting out of this United performance that we've seen at the moment.
Here's Ji-Sung Park. Now Brown. Smith. Loire. Now Taylor. Smith. There's Brown.
The man in white shirts behind the ball, Rob, and this is where Man United always have the problem when they play at home, because so many sides just come to Old Trafford and try and defend in great numbers.
Van Nistelrooy has turned O'Brien! For all the manpower that they had there, Van Nistelrooy nearly found a way through.
Well, the problem was there was some tremendous individual play. Initially from Paul Scholes, just followed his pass into the Wayne Rooney and Ruud van Nistelrooy. It was always going to be difficult. for Portsmouth to defend, certainly against Van Nistelrooy. Shown great presence of mind in turning his marker.
Silvestre.
Come close a few occasions now, haven't they, United? A mixture of luck, decent goalkeeping. They really kept Manchester United out. This will be a worry to Joe Jordan. The attempts are beginning to mount into something that's substantial. So far, his side haven't conceded a goal, which is the important statistic.
Goals haven't been free-flowing for Manchester United here at Old Trafford this season. They haven't scored more than one in any of their Premiership games here so far in the campaign.
I really think they find it a lot easier playing away from home, Rob. You know, when they know that the home side have got to attack them, there's a lot more space, in particular for Wayne Rooney. At the moment, because that midfield four are defending so deep, Rooney's trying to drop short, but he just isn't allowed the space in the room that he's accustomed to, certainly away from home.
Looking for Rooney again, but O'Neill plugs the gap this time. Away by Griffin. And Loa with Ferdinand at his back. This is Alan Smith. Here's Van Nistelrooy. Now John O'Shea. This is Loa. Trying to escape from Paul Scholes. He's done that.
He's looked lively, hasn't he, when he's been in possession, Loa. Talked earlier about he has got the capability of unsettling the best of defences because he's just so unpredictable.
By Matt Taylor. Here's Ferdinand. Now Smith. O'Shea. And Nistelrooy to Scholes. O'Shea. Scholes is pulled up.
He's not impeded, didn't he, by Salif Jow. And it's a little bit painful, that. It's a knee into his thigh muscle. Done the damage, and Chris Foy, the referee, spotted it. Be interesting. Set piece. It's the likes of Ferdinand and Silvestre and Nistelrooy in there. But so far, Portsmouth have given a good, honest account of themselves, which is what the manager would be hoping for. Certainly don't seem to be feeling sorry for themselves, given their league position and their recent run.
I think the angle and the range would be against Rooney, but who knows with the boy wonder. In fact, he's moved away and left it to Giggs to try and play him in. Cuts towards Silvestre, who took a stab at it, but it's Park who comes in and lifts it over.
Well, they let fly. They were a little bit sleepy, weren't they, Portsmouth? You know, once Wayne Rooney ran over the ball, there was only going to be one thing that happened, and very late when the defender finally gets to him, and that could have quite easily fallen at the feet of a Manchester United player. More around the penalty spot than it did eventually to Park, and he just lets fly, just tries his luck. So certainly found his shooting range in front of goal, has he, as far as goal scoring is concerned for United.
Ferdinand fouled by Silva. And here's John O'Shea. Now Scholes. This is Van Nistelrooy. Rooney. Giggs. Important header away by Stefanovic.
So a couple like that, hasn't he, the skipper? A great example of leadership qualities at the heart of that Portsmouth defence.
Carrying an injury, Stefanovic, which needs surgery, which is postponed to the end of the season to try and help them out of their current plight. Scholes! What
So it's the collector's item these days, isn't it? Paul Scholes scoring. I have to say, as well as Portsmouth have dug in the early part of this game, this is awful marking. You know, you work on set pieces during the week and you know which player is designated to pick up the opposition. And Stevanovic seems to catch Scholes in a position where he feels that he shouldn't really be marking him. In the end, he has to do a job, doesn't get anywhere near him. No one on the post to maybe clear what would have been that chance to defend. But Paul Scholes, who has had a massively lean spell for him this season, registers his first league goal.
22 games he'd gone without a goal, Paul Scholes, his last against Charlton in May, and he had exactly the same barren spell last season and then went on a run of scoring 7 in 7.
He's capable of going on that run again, isn't he? The problem is, you know, you're side here and you come with a real determination, defend well and know that you've got to hang on for lots of periods, knowing the opposition, i.e. Manchester United, are going to have a lot of possession. Set pieces, you know, they're things that you can do something about, Rob. You know, you can defend well against. That certainly wasn't the case there. That's poor marking.
And it was a surprise that they didn't have both posts covered. So Andy Griffin might have been the man detailed to occupy that position, and yet somehow it was left vacant. Joe Jordan will not be a happy man.
No, he won't be, and he's every right to be not happy, Rob, because, you know, that's basics. You know, at this level, you should be able to do the basics well.
Here's Viafara. Comes back off Silvestre.
Certainly the interesting approach to put a player on one post and not cover the far post, which is exactly what happened there.
Griffin. Here's O'Shea. That's Giggs. Too long for Van Nistelrooy. Andy Griffin. Here's O'Brien.
Game plan goes out the window a wee bit now, as far as Portsmouth are concerned. When you concede a goal, you hope to defend well. In great numbers is exactly what they were doing up till that point. Although Manchester United had tested them on a couple of occasions and they'd come close. So certainly, as far as Sir Alex Ferguson's side are concerned now, Rob, that should just settle them down. It means that they don't have to chase the game now. They've got that goal.
It's hard enough for a team like Portsmouth coming here without giving their opponents a head start like that. And they will be looking at and questioning themselves over that goal they conceded to Paul Scholes. Here's Rooney. Taylor. Rooney again. Scholes into trouble, but solid Jazz intervention, and he gives it back to John O'Shea. Silvestre. Now Smith. Van Nistelrooy. Brown. Ji-sung Park. Stefanovic. Silvestre under pressure here from Dario Silva. He kept his cool.
He needs a big performance. Mikel Silvestre. He's going to get troubled that often today, but his performance was that poor that the manager decided to drag him off in the first half last week. Well, he did play him during the week against West Bromwich Albion. So done his confidence a lot of good.
Silvestre and Ferdinand have both been given wake-up calls by being substituted in matches this season. Silvestre last week against West Ham, and Ferdinand in that awful defeat at Middlesbrough.
Sometimes not beleaguered with a little bit of complacency at times, the two centre-backs, and you're right in what you said, Rob. They do need a bit of a wake-up call at times, because you know they do possess great qualities, both international defenders.
Here's Scholes. Now Rooney. Park looking to get in behind Griffin. He's got Van Nistelrooy in the middle. Griffin's dived in, but he's got the ball.
Good challenge. That would be absolutely spot on, Andy Griffin. Quite easily given away a penalty there if he got that wrong.
Scholes. Now Rooney goes for the hit.
This is the one that he had to get absolutely spot on, Andy Griffin. A little bit difficult time for the back four, but as he challenges there against Ji-sung Park, very committed, wasn't it? So we can have another look at the goal and just have a look at the lack of marking, really, and should have been Frisk, really, that Stevanovic is almost pointing to and saying, you should have been picking him up. Well, the shout from the dugout, as far as Portsmouth are concerned, is maybe Andy Griffin should have picked up Paul Scholes, but you can have that inquest at half-time. The fact is that United find themselves 1-0 up through some awful defending from a set piece. It should have really been dealt with.
Here's O'Brien. Sylvester. Now Silva. Now Lualua.
He's had a couple of sightings, hasn't he? Lualua. He's never going to trouble the goalkeeper. But, as I said a little bit earlier, he's potentially their one hope, because he has got that unpredictable nature about him. And he can conjure up things from very limited opportunities, and I'm afraid that's going to have to be one of the best hopes that Portsmouth might just have today.
Here's O'Shea. Van Nistelrooy's layoff. Scholes. Too heavy for Rooney.
And he might just have been offside there, Rob. Trying to hold his run as long as possible. Very incisive player, though, wasn't it, from United? 1-2 touch football, which is very difficult to deal with.
Scholes. Strange ball, but O'Shea managed to rescue it. How can Giggs make the best of it? Got it past Frisk. Cleared by Stefanovic.
Great ball. Great ball that was, Ryan Giggs. This is Giggs at his best, really, picking the ball up, running at defenders, and then providing a cutting-edge cross into the box. And maybe if Van Nistelrooy had gambled a little bit early, he might have got a bit more joy.
Still no man on the far post for the corner, which was where Scholes put the ball for the previous goal, but this cross is cleared by Viafara. Hit by Rooney. Couldn't get through the crowd, though. On by Ferdinand, and he's offside, Van Nistelrooy.
It's a high challenge on Gary O'Neill.
Back play's been brought back for a free kick for the challenge on Ferdinand.
Yeah, O'Neill against Ferdinand. And, well, this might just be a little bit too far out, but never doubt the ability of Wayne Rooney to conjure something up from this distance.
Well, Rooney hasn't scored here in the Premiership since last April. After he scored against Newcastle. Play it in towards Scholes.
Legs it a little bit too high, didn't he? Decent run from Paul Scholes. He's got the taste of getting on the goal scoring sheet now. Such a long time for him. Arguably one of the finest goal scoring midfield players in this country.
Managers described him as the most naturally gifted goal scorer to have come through the ranks of the club.
Don't forget he started life as a centre forward here and successfully converted into a very, very competitive, very successful central midfield player. Well, United having bags of possession now. Portsmouth just having one or two isolated raids.
Here's O'Shea. So they're running into trouble with Rooney. And this is Paul Scholes. Smith. Van Nistelrooy. Brown looking for Rooney. He's turned away from Stefanovic. Away by O'Brien. Good control though from Rooney. He almost got the ball right. O'Brien in the way there. Here's O'Shea. Manchester United really are dominant now. Scholes, Van Nistelrooy, Rooney takes over. Tried to play in Scholes again.
So many bodies there, it's very congested. Almost the eye of the needle pass from Wayne Rooney. Try and pull Scholes in behind this Portsmouth back four. Just keeps coming back at them at the moment, Rob.
Here's Van Nistelrooy. Back by Rooney to Scholes. It's pursued all the way by Giggs, and it's a successful challenge. Scholes. Rooney. Brown. Rooney again. It's Ferdinand.
You do fear the worst, don't you, for this Portsmouth side, such as United's dominance. Now, when Portsmouth do have possession, it doesn't seem to be for long, certainly not long enough. The back four and the goalkeeper, because they just need some respite at the moment.
There's Van Nistelrooy. Now Brown. Park. Brown. Van Nistelrooy. Jason Park looking for a way through. He was caught though by Griffin.
Feels as if he's got something of the ball first, you know, as he slid in, Andy Griffin. Very competitive fullback. It's so difficult for Portsmouth in every position of the field to deal with this sustained attacking ability of Manchester United. Another set piece to deal with. Van Nistelrooy taking up his customary position. Just trying to start offside and then get back into an onside position.
Giggs plays it in. Strong heads going for it, Taylor and Jow in particular. Again, they've covered the near post with Gary O'Neill.
It's an interesting tactic, isn't it? There's a lot of sides that do occupy both posts when they're defending.
O'Brien comes to meet the corner. Parker's lost out there to Loire. Further back is Brown as Insurance, but difficult for him to get across the cover Silva, although he couldn't take it in his stride. And look who's back, Ryan Giggs.
Well, that's the sort of determination that I was talking about earlier, Rob. You know, when I look at this Manchester United side, I see a lot of players who've got huge amount of quality. And I think if you've got that desire and determination aligned with that quality, then you're always going to be challenging for honours. And I think Manchester United have got that back within the club.
Here's O'Neill driving in a hopeful one that came off John O'Shea.
Well, it wasn't the worst ball I've ever seen. Gary O'Neill.
Here's Crisp. On by O'Brien. Farah trying to lay it off. Ryan Giggs has got through a huge amount of defensive work so far in this match for United. Shea got more of Loire than the ball.
Certainly wild, wasn't it? Sometimes just the sheer ability of Loire. It wins him a lot of free kicks. This could be interesting. Got the right sort of delivery.
And Gary O'Neill is certainly capable of providing the right sort of delivery, as he's shown already. Stefanovic goes in, and Van der Sar tries to hold on to it, and does, despite the number of bodies around him.
Yeah, that's a terrific ball into the box from Gary O'Neill. Really was a set piece with great quality, and it's crying out for somebody to get on the end of that. That's brave goalkeeping, and perhaps lucky goalkeeping in the end from Van der Sar, because he didn't know an awful lot about it.
Yes, for a moment, I don't think he knew where the ball was, did he? But when he saw it, he grabbed it, and United hang on.
I'm convinced United are at their best, you know, when they are defending from corners and free kicks. If Portsmouth can get the ball forward, get some opportunities like we've just seen there.
It's from a corner that Portsmouth conceded the only goal so far.
Certainly there are plenty of corners to deal with Portsmouth. The one crucial one that they couldn't deal with has cost them a goal.
He didn't pick Scholes up in the box there, and he's waiting outside the box now as it's played in towards Ferdinand. Biafara sees it first. Given away to Rooney of all people. Lashed against O'Neill. Loire showing good strength there to hold off Brown. Well, they all have a part to play in defending.
Yeah, that's another example, really. You never get anywhere if you're not prepared to roll up your sleeves and work hard, and we've seen there a couple of examples from the forward players, Giggs and Rooney, working back and helping out their teammates.
Here's Smith. Ferdinand. On by O'Shea. Rooney. Giggs. O'Shea looking to help it across. Griffin got the touch. Run back by Park, his outstretched leg first denied Taylor, but it was a good recovery.
So much energy, hasn't it? Ji-sung Park still short at times of that technical ability in the final third, but no one can fault the effort that he gives this Manchester United side.
Rooney. And Wes Brown is offside. Action to come on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow from 3 o'clock. We're at the Valley for Charlton against Manchester City. And Monday night football is from St Andrews, Birmingham against West Ham, 7:30 Sky Sports 1. Birmingham, who Manchester United have today drawn in the quarter-finals of the Carling Cup. There's Park. Now Stefanovic. This is O'Neill. And away by Rio Ferdinand to Scholes. This is Smith.
Certainly won't be a disaster if Portsmouth can hang on to this till half-time. Joe can get them in the dressing room and just tactically maybe alter one or two things, but at 1-0 you've always got a chance to get back into the football match.
Here's Van Nistelrooy. Smith. Rooney. Now Wes Brown. Park. Smith. Viafara. Now Silva. This is O'Neill. Lualua there ahead of Scholes. Griffin. Now Matt Taylor. Chow. Silva. Here's Lualua. Proving impossible for Lualua to get around. Really couldn't spring United into attack and left Park with a retrieval job to do. Smith, now Scholes. Or ahead of O'Shea to his right. O'Brien said.
Good defending, Andy O'Brien. The right position, the right time. Decent ball in from John O'Shea. Quite happy to get their wide players, Manchester United, tucking inside on a lot of occasions and seeing whether they could get O'Shea and Wes Brown into forward positions and supplement this attack.
Taylor.
Come on, Daniel! Daniel!
Here's Griffin. Ferdinand.
Well, he's done that 3 or 4 occasions, Rio Ferdinand. He's come through Dario Silva far too easy. And just below is Joe Jordan, shouting at his striker to try and hold the ball up and show a little bit more strength. And he's up against the centre-back. Certainly traits that Joe possessed during his playing career. Never got an easy time when you're a centre-back against Joe Jordan.
Here's Rooney. Van Nistelrooy's onside!
Good goalkeeping. Good goalkeeping. Big suspicion of offside, although Portsmouth defenders haven't gone and remonstrated with the linesman. Looks as if Andy Griffin is playing Van Nistelrooy onside, but that's terrific goalkeeping because he got out very early at the feet of Ruud Van Nistelrooy, never give him an opportunity to thread the ball past him.
Decisive run from Giggs. Played in the end to Lamana Lualua. Now Salif Jow. Back by O'Brien. Smith. Stefanovic. No doubt about it, Smith is growing into this new role, isn't he? People weren't very patient with him at first, were they, when he was adjusting to this new position?
Well, he seems to relish that physical encounter, doesn't he? He's got that against Jow and Fiafara and O'Neill today. Such a wholehearted player. I mean, he's just desperate to play. I mean, it's the one thing with Alan Smith. Always gives you a lot of energy.
Brown. Through Stefanovic. This goes straight to Silvestre. Brown behind it. Here's Prisk. Silva. Here's Brown. O'Neill. Lualua took it away from Silvestre. Ferdinand was trying to usher him out of the way when Van der Sar came.
And again, we were talking about it earlier. I think that's where Silvestre can let himself down at times. You know, he showed a lot of complacency, really. When that ball was up in the air, he should have dealt with it far quicker than he did.
Nistelrooy.
Well, Portsmouth certainly come here today to frustrate, make it difficult for Manchester United. For the best part, they've done that. United have had a lot of possession. and maybe could have had 2 or 3 goals, but at 1-0, still some hope here for Portsmouth. Joe's certainly got a few attacking players on the bench as well, so you know, if it does stay like this for up to 60-70 minutes, he knows he's always got that opportunity to throw on the likes of Todorov or Vukic or the unpredictable Robert.
Well, they're back in the fold today, after saying this week he thought certain people at the club were trying to force him out of the club.
Never heard him say that before.
Be interesting to see how the new manager, whoever it is, deals with him. Just the 1 minute of added time. Here's Griffin. O'Neill. Here's Andy Griffin. Half-time, and Paul Scholes' barren goal-scoring run is over. After 22 games without one, he headed a 20th minute corner into the net today. Inquest in the Portsmouth defence about how he was allowed the freedom for that header, but it might have been worse for Pompey at half-time had Ruud van Nistelrooy been able to convert a second, but he was denied at close range by a very good save from Jamie Ashdown. So at half-time it is Manchester United 1, Portsmouth 0.
Yes, comfortable enough for Manchester United up to now, but Portsmouth not yet out of the game. We'll have George's thoughts after the break. Some interesting debate as to whether you should have defenders at the near post, the far post, or anywhere else for that matter. Either way, Paul Scholes found a way through.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
This Christmas you can get a Prem Plus special offer season ticket for £30. Oh yes you can! A Prem Plus special offer season ticket for just £30. And look at all these great fixtures. And many more to come. To order your Prem Plus season ticket, call 08705 160 160 or go to channel 437.
A chicken premiere at McDonald's in December, and you'll get either a free rental or a rent one get one free movie at Blockbuster.
What I really wanted to say before, I love you.
So you're guaranteed a happy Christmas.
Everyone loves a DVD game. The Premier League's ultimate DVD game is here.
With the official FA Premier League Super Quiz.
Presented by Sky Sports' Andy Gray. Packed with fantastic Premier League action and 1,500 questions. Play on your own or against your mates and win the title. So give the FA Premier League Super Quiz to someone you love. The biggest games, the biggest names. Universal, the home of interactive DVD games.
I found my boyfriend these gorgeous cufflinks on eBay. He thinks he's so...
Flash and zoom. This little camera's perfect for my daughter as she's only...
Hi. My wife looks great in her new boots. I can't wait to...
Hold her for his MP3 player. He loves it.
Emily? In a controversial decision, the Catholic Church officially recognized a demonic possession. The exorcism of Emily Rose.
Introducing Lexmark's new great value P4350 all-in-one printer with special photo features. Now it's even easier to see, enhance, scan and print great photos. But don't just take our word for it. Photography Monthly magazine said that P4350 offers excellent value and performance. For more information, visit lexmark.co.uk or your nearest store.
Prepare yourself for the sequel to the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. Fight all the classic battles any way you want. Fight as a Jedi. Fight on new planets. Fight in space. Star Wars Battlefront 2. You fight again.
If you're searching for a great Christmas present, try this selection of DVD box sets. Superman! Out of this world superhero adventure in the complete Superman collection. Get the lowdown on Gotham's greatest Caped Crusader in the Batman Legacy. Full-on buddy cop action in the complete Lethal Weapon collection. And side-splitting laughs in the Chevy Chase collection. Blockbuster DVD box sets. Great gifts this Christmas. Available now.
And the rhythm of life is a powerful beat. Puts a tingle in your fingers and a tingle in your feet. Rhythm in your bedroom, rhythm in the street. Yes, the rhythm of life is a powerful...
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
There is live action from La Liga later this evening. Real Madrid against Getafe from 7 Sky Sports Extra. Football first with Claire Tomlinson, including Game of the Day, Bolton and Arsenal, the match choice as well. It's all from 8:25 on Sky Sports 1. Half-time at Old Trafford and Manchester United are leading Portsmouth by 1-0. They've looked a little vulnerable at the back at times, United, but other than that, it's been fairly comfortable for them so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, the first 20 minutes, Marcus, no question about it. With a bit of luck, United could have got 2 or 3. So Portsmouth were really hanging on there and got away with it, really. But then, you know, as we'll see in a minute, the goal from a corner, they're just all over the place, Portsmouth, and they just rode their luck in the first 20 minutes, really.
Well, it's prompted some debate between ourselves as to whether you should have a defender on the far post, on the near post, but whatever you do, you don't leave 3 players effectively unmarked, as is the case as Paul Scholes makes there.
Well, exactly. Look at where Paul scores. He starts on the 18-yard line and starts walking in. And really, I cannot believe Stevanovic is the one supposed to be picking up Paul Scholes. Because United have got about 5 6-footers in their team. The whole back 4 are all 6 foot, plus Van Nistelrooy. And I cannot believe one of the Portsmouth biggest players, tallest players, is picking up Paul Scholes. So they definitely did not get that right at all.
And from a coaching perspective, when Joe Jordan knows it's going to be difficult enough anyway at Manchester United, to be as lax as that from a set piece is inexcusable, isn't it?
Very surprised, Marcus. And also, who's on the far post? I mean, they've not got anybody. Then there was a goal, and then they had a corner after that, and there was nobody on the far post.
Your policy was always to have somebody on the far post, not ever on the near post. Why?
Exactly. Well, you've got to look at the numbers, and usually if teams keep 1 up, you've got to keep 2 back. So I used to always have somebody on the far post and another player on the near post area. Not necessarily the post, but the near post area. And we didn't have a problem with it when I was at the majority of clubs that I was at.
The good news for Portsmouth is that is the only time they've been breached so far. Mainly thanks to their goalkeeper, Jamie Ashdown, who's impressed you. He's been very brave on a couple of occasions, notably here when Rooney and Van Nistelrooy combine well.
He's been excellent, Marcus. He's been nice and alive. Look at this here. He waits and waits. He realises Van Nistelrooy's first touch has been a bit suspect, and then he commits himself. That is really first-class goalkeeping. And he's really nice and alive. Mentally, he's nice and alert. And he sees Van Nistelrooy's first touch, he's just away from him too much, and he's come out and blocked it. And he's done that on more than one occasion.
Manchester United halfway to their 4th successive league victory. Portsmouth halfway to their 4th successive defeat without a goal. Joe's been vociferous during the first half. He's got a lot to say right now as well.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Here's Rooney!
This is my first year at Manchester United. My life as a United player. On the pitch and behind the scenes.
Rooney, my first year at Manchester United. Buy it now on DVD.
Now I'm gonna be under the tree. I'm gonna be with you. You'll be with me. Now I'm gonna be under the tree. I'm gonna be with you. You'll be with me.
Bring your world together with Vodafone Live with 3G this Christmas. Make the most of now. Vodafone.
The Sharp Aquos LCD TV. Suddenly, there's more to see.
PlayStation Portable. Langy Lang.
Nothing's going.
Are worth it.
Good morning.
While half the world...
Situation.
I think
This no-nonsense
World's this Christmas.
Easy world.
back, let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the law.
The Observer Sport Monthly. Sport from start to finish this Sunday.
See? It pays to think lucky. Hop in.
Does my bum look big in this?
You can buy any Friends DVD box set or Joey's Season 1 on DVD at amazingly low prices.
Nice.
Out now.
This Christmas, you can get free Sky Mobile TV exclusively on Vodafone. Make the most of now.
Citron's Happy Deals mean you can get a C4 from just $95.95. Or the Zara Picasso from just $96.95. And on selected Zara Picasso models, typical 0% APR with 35% deposit. Citron Happy Deals. They're great value amundo.
Those Irish eyes kept everyone smiling. His magical feet left us mesmerized. Sky One celebrates the glittering career of football's most gifted.
The magic of that right foot.
Described by Pelé as the greatest player he'd ever seen.
Oh, Georgie Best.
His name said it all. George Best Football Genius, Wednesday at 10 on Sky One.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Super Sunday tomorrow comes from the Valley. It's Charlton against Manchester City from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, and then in the evening at 6 from La Liga, also on 1, Villarreal against the league leaders Barcelona. Early today in the Premiership. There it is. Blackburn 0, Everton 2. James McFadden and Mikel Arteta. Bolton beat Arsenal by 2-0. Faye and Giannakopoulos in the first half for Big Sam's side. Chelsea not at their best, but did enough to beat Middlesbrough by 1-0. A Rockenbach own goal after 62 minutes. Liverpool 3, Wigan 0 in the lunchtime kickoff. Own goal by Mike Pollitt, then Peter Crouch with his first for the club and Luis Garcia. Newcastle and Aston Villa drawing one apiece, and Alan Shearer penalty for Newcastle. Gavin McCann for Villa. Gareth Barry missed a penalty 2 minutes from time. Spurs 3, Sunderland 2. Dean Whitehead put Sunderland in front. Mido equalised. Robbie Keane made it 2-1. Anthony Letalic then equalised for Sunderland. Michael Carrick won it 13 minutes from time. Robbie Keane missed a penalty in that game. And West Brom 0, Fulham 0. Lewis Burmorty sent off after 45 minutes. Manchester United leading Portsmouth by a goal to 0 at Old Trafford at half-time. Sir Alex is making a change for the second half. Kieran Richardson is coming on. John O'Shea is the man who'll make way for him. We're not at this stage sure why that change is being made. What, if any, changes do you envisage from Portsmouth in the second half? George, Laurent Robert is on the bench.
I can't really see that coming on, Marcus. I think Portsmouth in the first 20 minutes have weathered United's storm, and actually I thought they kept possession for the last 20 minutes of the half. I thought they kept possession very well without actually making any chances. So I don't think he'll make any changes, any changes for the first 20 minutes, and then maybe somebody up front, I would think.
Well, Todorov is another possibility for Joe. Sir Alex is happy enough. United's form has returned just in time, and of course they've got this huge game in Portugal in the Champions League.
Very big match, and I would think Sir Alex will be thinking right away, let's get the second goal, and so we can sort of relax a little bit and not expend too much energy with a big game coming up during the week in Europe.
No changes for Portsmouth at half-time. Let's get back up to the commentary box and Brian Marwood and Rob Hawthorne.
With United's Champions League future in the balance and the game against Benfica coming up, Sir Alex Ferguson taking John O'Shea off at half-time and sending on in his place Kieran Richardson, whose last Premiership goal was against Portsmouth, although not in the colours of Manchester United. It was the one that, in the end, ensured that West Bromwich Albion's great escape was completed during his loan spell there last season. No changes of personnel at half-time for Portsmouth, whose 2 matches under the caretaker charge of Joe Jordan have been against Chelsea and against Manchester United. I wouldn't say it, but I'm sure he might be thinking Milan Mandrić might have picked a better time to dispense with the services of Alain Perrin.
I can certainly understand the change that Manchester United have made, if it is a tactical one, Rob, because United have had a lot of possession.
Has tried to play Taylor in, and that could have been just the sort of start that Portsmouth wanted in the second half.
Well, that would have been a horrendous start, wouldn't it, for Manchester United, and what a boost this would have been for Portsmouth. And Matthew Taylor, you really fancy him strongly on his left foot. It was a great ball from Lawal, and that's got to come back across the face of the goal. Unfortunately, goes towards that near post. A good save in the end from Van der Sar. That's a big chance.
Seeing Taylor advance forward in that sort of position to score an FA Cup goal at Anfield a couple of seasons ago. He can do it on the big stage.
Well, you say make the goalkeeper work, that's exactly what Matthew Taylor did, but I think with his left foot, he arrowed that towards the far post. I think there might have been a bit more joy for him there.
Well, it's given Portsmouth the sort of lift they needed. Coming out trailing to Paul Scholes' first half goal. But given huge encouragement by that. Too long, though, for Stefanovic, who in his determination to get there has become rather too closely acquainted with the cameraman and has possibly hurt himself in having to hurdle over the hoarding.
Very brave in the way that he chased after that ball. Asian Stefanovic there, and, clearly out of play, and that's what you call a close-up. Well, he's battled through a lot of pain, hasn't he, just to stay in this Portsmouth side. Dejan Stefanovic. Looks like he's got to face a little bit more pain as well, because he really has maybe winded himself just going over that advertising board. Well, he was very nearly celebrating, wasn't he, Joe Jordan? And it's the corner that led to Stefanovic picking up that injury, resulting in a fierce strike from Taylor, his favoured left foot. Good save from Van der Sar.
Just for the moment, VFR has dropped back to right back, and Trisk is slotted into the centre of defence with O'Brien. Whereas Portsmouth are having to hold off Manchester United with 10 men. Silva has won back possession for them, and at least there's the heartening sight now of Stefanovic coming back round the perimeter of the pitch, still holding his side, but doesn't look as though it'll be too long before he's back on. Here's Ruud van Nistelrooy. The line one up the park, it was Prisk's header away.
An important touch, wasn't it, from Prisk? Ji-sung Park was just drifting in behind him.
Well, Dan Stefanovic is back on. Just at the right time to defend yet another Manchester United corner. Even with the half-time break, no rethink on the policy of no man on the far post.
It's an interesting policy.
Farah doesn't really deal with it. Park hits it, not cleanly. Still not away though. Rooney! By Scholes. Here's Alan Smith. And Nistelrooy. Now Loire. It's O'Neill who's taken over by Silva. Loire. It's against Rio Ferdinand.
I just think they've started the second half sloppy, Manchester United. Not into any real rhythm. To be fair to Portsmouth, they're having a real good go.
O'Brien. Now Dejan Stefanovic. He's now back in the position which he started the match. Villafara 2. Loire. Away by Kieran Richardson. Scholes. Wes Brown. Nistelrooy ahead of him to the right, and he's left it to Van Nistelrooy. Scholes. Now Rooney. Smith. Scholes. Van Nistelrooy back to Scholes.
I'll be disappointed not to have done better there, Paul Scholes. Very slow, wasn't it, to start with from Manchester United, and all of a sudden Scholes just picks up the pace in midfield, playing a little 1-2 off Van Nistelrooy. You know his side are looking fairly comfortable, but he'll want them to go home and push that advantage through into more goals. At the moment they just seem quite content to keep the ball and not really play at a tempo that he knows that is capable of destroying Portsmouth.
Arsenal's slip up earlier makes it all the more imperative that Manchester United win this one to stay within some sort of touching distance at least of Chelsea and close the gap back to the 10 points that it was at the start of the day. Here's Brown. Alan Smith. Now Scholes. Left by Giggs for Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Richardson is advancing as well. Villafara forcing Van Nistelrooy back. Smith. Now Scholes. Showed too much of it to Prisk. That fell short for Taylor. It was there to be reached by Smith, and he did get there. Park.
To be fair to Taylor, he didn't give up the situation. It's again great tenacity from Alan Smith. Still might not have the guile and the craft in that position just yet, but you get the feeling that the more he plays there, the more that he'll probably add that to his game.
And the Premiership, certainly Smith has turned in some encouraging performances. Maybe it's in the Champions League, where it's proved more difficult for him in that, until this season, unaccustomed role.
That's what I was talking about earlier, though, Rob. It's that guile and craft that I think you need at that European level. When you look at the Premier League, it's about competing.
Slipped through to Giggs, but he's offside.
He just wanted to play a little bit early, didn't he, Ryan Giggs? He'd made his mind up to get in behind Prisk. He was desperate for Ruud van Nistelrooy to play it there. That's when he would have been onside. Instead, once he'd had another touch, he's offside.
Here's Salif Jao. Now Mana Lualua. Smith. Taylor looking for Silva, and it's cleared by Silvestre. Smith. Park. Richardson. Here's Scholes. Van Nistelrooy. Rooney!
Well, I think he's just been slightly off the mark as far as his general game today, Wayne Rooney. Such are the expectations of this boy, you really do expect him to test the goalkeeper from situations like that. Goal against Newcastle United last year springs to mind when he took it on the volley and planted a strike past Shea Given into the top corner. It's almost a surprise when he doesn't hit the target, but a mixed performance from him today. Disappointing aspect from Manchester United, having 15 attempts and only 1 goal to show from it. The ratio that you would expect from a Manchester United side, boasting the likes of Van Nistelrooy and Rooney and Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes.
Here's Scholes. Rooney. Scholes. Now Smith.
Almost too comfortable at times, isn't it, in these areas? Lots of the ball, but it's in that final third where they're hoping to get into situations where they can carve out chances. But sometimes you just have to be patient when the sides come to Old Trafford and defending in great numbers.
Richardson. Giggs looking for a free kick out of Prisk. The referee thought about it. Given though. Richardson and Viafara tangling. The decision goes in favour of the United man. Here's Smith. Rooney. Teasing ball to Van Nistelrooy.
Took it in his stride brilliantly, didn't he? I think if you allow the likes of Scholes and Rooney this type of time and room, all of it's 20-25 yards out, they'll pick you off with great quality. That's exactly what Wayne Rooney did there. Unfortunately, Van Nistelrooy, having had a great first touch, couldn't open himself up to the angle.
There's Viafara. And against him by Kieran Richardson. Giggs. Here's O'Brien. Now Griffin. This is Taylor.
Again, Joe Jordan will be disappointed with Dario Silva. Stevanovic is no alternative really, just to knock that ball long and hope that the striker can just hold the ball up and maintain possession. Instead, once it's given away, a lot of defending to do. That's what's happened for the best part of this game.
Here's Silvestre. Through the legs of O'Neill to Scholes, now Clark. Here's Rooney. hand of Andy Griffin. Rooney gets on with it quickly and gets it back from Wes Brown. Headed by Stefanovic. Now Griffin. Salif Jab. O'Brien. Svetoslav Todorov is set to come on for Portsmouth. Silva. O'Neill. It's back by Ferdinand. O'Neill winning the header.
I'm not surprised that Portsmouth have decided to make this substitution. As I said on a few occasions, Silva has conceded possession at times when really Joe Jordan would have hoped that he could have just held up the play and brought other players into the game. I think Todorov will give them a little bit more energy.
Todorov took the quickest exit, didn't come back to shake the hand of Svetoslav Todorov, but I think he was more acutely aware of the need to get on with things and took the shortest route off the pitch to allow Todorov to come on. Todorov and Loire will now be looked to for the goals. Two players who are hardly on the best of terms with the former manager, Alain Perrin. O'Neill's kick, it's an awkward one, and Van der Sar lost it. The flag was up anyway.
It was slightly fortuitous there, wasn't he, Van der Sar? Didn't look comfortable. Another great free kick in from Gary O'Neill. That's one in the first half, one in the second, but really he's just impeded by his own player, Wes Brown. When you have a look at Wes Brown here, he's the one that comes across Van der Sar and catches the goalkeeper. And that really is a generous decision.
There's a fair bit of rain before kick-off. It is raining now, and the ball has been dealt with awkwardly on a couple of occasions by the goalkeepers, notably there by Van der Sar. He got away with that one.
A couple of moments, hasn't he, Van der Sar? Stemmed from a couple of Gary O'Neill free kicks that he hasn't dealt with particularly well. Not lucky on both occasions. Portsmouth, the longer this game goes at 1-0, they'll probably feel that they have a decent chance of getting something out of this game still. United still haven't finished them off, even though they've had a lot of attempts, a lot of possession.
Ferdinand. Park. Van Nistelrooy. Smith. Here's Ryan Giggs. Now Rooney. Skillfully away from Biafara, looking for the run of Park. Here's Brown. Here's Park. Smith. Brown. Rooney's ball in. Cleared by Stefanovic. Loire. It's been a little subdued, it's a little anxious.
Yeah, it has. I think the Manchester United fans are probably a little bit disappointed that their side haven't really pushed home the advantage as far as their possession. A little bit of a lacklustre display by their side. It's certainly matched by the fans.
Here's Park. Now Wes Brown.
A little bit surprised actually with the way Manchester United are playing, Rob. The two wide players, Park and Ryan Giggs, are almost at times playing too close to Van Nistelrooy and Rooney, and I think in the hope that the fullbacks can get some space. Wes Brown and Kieran Richardson, but we haven't really seen either of those two in attacking positions in the second half, and With the wide players playing as narrow as they are, it really is condensing play, and United are finding it very difficult to pick the passes that they're hoping to play.
Here's Park. Now Van Nistelrooy, short of options in the middle, but Rooney's looking to get there now. And Frisk hit it against his own man O'Brien, and Portsmouth got away with that.
I think Wayne Rooney thinks for one moment, that ball's going to come to him. He very nearly gets lucky. Certainly took him by surprise.
By O'Neill.
I'm not convinced that it was a penalty. Might have been a handball, but in the sense that Frisk plays this against the hand of O'Brien, I think that would have been a harsh decision if the referee had given it.
Seems to touch a hand that O'Brien's trying to pull out of the way.
Yeah. There's no intent really to gain advantage.
Here's Ruud van Nistelrooy. Park. He's won a corner, and after a somewhat lacklustre spell, United rediscovering themselves.
Yeah, I think the game needs it, doesn't it? Because I think Portsmouth have been quite content to play the way that they're doing, and just knowing that it's still at 1-0, they've got a chance. United have just been quite content in many respects to just hang on to this 1-0 lead. I've got the feeling if they step it up.
Giggs plays it in, unchallenged though. Ashdown.
Yeah, it's just been quite comfortable at times, isn't it, for Portsmouth? And, I think the manager just might look to spark things up.
Here's Scholes. Nothing to his right, short of options. Short, simple ball in the end to Smith. Now Giggs. Here's Van Nistelrooy. Richardson. Drive away across, but O'Brien defends against it.
Sorry, that was certainly better though from Kieran Richardson. Once again we saw Giggs come in field and allowed some space for the full-back to get forward. So condensed, it's very, very difficult really to gain any advantage. The space is such a premium in that.
Well, Manchester United are going to make a change that they hope will bring the necessary spark. Ryan Giggs is coming off. And George Best, well, a few shirts in his time at Manchester United, but the one with which he was associated was number 7, the man who wears that shirt now, Cristiano Ronaldo on. And straight on the ball. Scything challenge from Mikel Silvestre to take down Todorov.
Putting Cristiano Ronaldo on that right-hand side, bringing Park over to the left. It's a productive Cristiano Ronaldo that Sir Alex Ferguson is looking to now, in the sense that when he does get the ball, looking to take on defenders and cause problems for the opposition, but having an end product.
It's a big week for Ronaldo, going back to his homeland with Manchester United in the week for that crucial must-win game against Benfica, a victory, the only result that would guarantee them a place in the knockout stage of the Champions League. A draw might be good enough, depending on the other results in the group. And Luar has won a free kick here out of Mikel Silvestre.
He's had a couple of occasions, Silvestre, over the last 5 minutes where he's committed rash challenges. Could quite easily have found himself in the referee's notebook. Instead, he's given away a free kick in a decent area. O'Neill has produced some quality, although Luar looks as if he's keen to take this one.
O'Neill has actually moved away, and it's Luar who plays it across. Can't make anything of that, but Griffin can pick it up here, and he finds Gary O'Neill. O'Brien and Stefanovic for now have stayed forward. It's Frisk. Salif Jow. Silvestre winning his battle with Todorov. Stefanovic. Griffin. Now Taylor. For a club in apparent turmoil, Portsmouth giving it their best here. Griffin feeling that he got the ball.
They make a big claim. I mean, conditions like this, it's always going to encourage defenders to slide and make challenges like that. I think what's convinced the referee is that Ronaldo's gone to ground very, very quickly. And maybe, just maybe, that he would have seen it as a challenge from the side. Did enough. Looks as if he's going to get a yellow card. Andy Griffin. He plead he's innocent, but this is the challenge. You see there the intent. He slides. And he just really takes out the player and the ball at the same time. He's an uncompromising defender, Griffin. He's not afraid to mix it. Just a little welcome, Cristiano Ronaldo, into this football match.
After he'd come on, Ronaldo had barely been able to get into the game. United were having to do so much defending, but first opportunity that he thought he might have to work something, and Andy Griffin comes in to leave his calling card.
Problem is Ronaldo playing against him, Rob. You know there'll be a few tricks and step overs and look to tease Griffin
and O'Neill and Taylor, and then he actually tied himself up in his own legs then, I think, didn't he?
Well, he did. I mean, he is a showman. You know, he loves to bring this type of play into the game, of running defenders, showing lots of trickery. As I said earlier, Rob, it's no use unless you've got an end product. Well, he's won his side a free kick.
It's Ronaldo himself who takes it short. Brown's ball in, cleared by Stefanovic. Ronaldo. Stefanovic. Frisk. Here's Salif Jah. Sylvester moving across in front of Todorov. Back by Griffin. Brown's header. Now Ronaldo with Griffin on a yellow card, chasing back and left in Ronaldo's wake. It's Rooney.
Read the situation well, and O'Brien. Great play though from Ronaldo. Great ability to get himself into the final third, and that time he did produce a telling ball into the box to Wayne Rooney.
Ronaldo's ball in. That was by Van Nistelrooy. Cleared by O'Neill. Here's Viafara. Frisk. Salif Jah. Which is though Laurent Robert's return to the Portsmouth fold is imminent.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think Joe Jordan feels that his side have got to try and get a goal from somewhere. Maybe Robert can provide it from that left-hand side. There's one thing, he won't be helping out Andy Griffin when this fella's running at him. That side of the game he doesn't really enjoy, Robert.
Around Ronaldo then, he finds his man, Wes Brown. This is Smith. Now Scholes, who scored the only goal so far. The lead on which Manchester United have so far failed to capitalise. Scholes getting away with a quick free kick. The change is now happening, and Matt Taylor is the man who will make way for the returning Laurent Robert, player who has claimed he's been a scapegoat for Portsmouth's problems, who has claimed that he's being forced out of the club, but here he is with 18 minutes to let his actions on the field do the talking.
Yeah, very much so, and I think that you know, we've heard that before, haven't we, from Laurent Robert? Seems quite a familiar tale. We've heard it at Newcastle United, we've heard it now at Portsmouth.
The free kick that United had would have been the sort of situation Robert would have relished, but United have opted for a more measured, patient approach, and Kieran Richardson here looks to back Portsmouth into a corner, and he wins a corner out of Via Farah.
I think they're the areas where Manchester United need to get into, because I think if they do, that will open up Portsmouth. Portsmouth have got a lot of bodies behind the ball, and they found it comfortable at times because United played so narrow.
Well, slow to pick up Richardson. Van Nistelrooy had a go, just tried to push it through.
Could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? Very bright here, Manchester United. Quick set piece, the best ball in the world really, and just trying to pick out a red shirt. Van Nistelrooy makes himself available across the front of Stevanovic. Unfortunately for him, the flick just goes wide. I'd have to say another chance goes begging though, Rob, and that's it. A lot of those situations where United could quite easily have put this game beyond doubt well before now.
Their advantage in terms of their attempts, but Manchester United haven't pressed home that advantage. Against a club with all the upheaval that Portsmouth are facing at the moment, and bearing in mind the way that they conceded that first goal, you would have expected United to have established a clearer lead by now. They could have done then, had Scholes been able to connect with that for a second.
What a great ball though, Rob. What a great ball. You know, if Ronaldo brings this type of play to the final third, you know, he is so difficult to deal with. Either he'll go and dribble past you, or he can produce quality crosses into the box. We've just seen there for Paul Scholes.
Short from Silvestre. An anxious moment for Van der Sar, although he kept his cool against the on-rushing Loire.
I do think Silvestre does give you a chance, you know, every game. There's a moment of lack of concentration.
On the flip side, that was a great ball from him to Ronaldo in the first place, and Ronaldo here will look for Van Nistelrooy.
That across, that's 2-0. It's as simple as that. Cristiano Ronaldo is beginning to have a big effect on this football match.
Rooney. Now O'Brien. Griffin. Farah. Richardson came across with a tackle. Could there yet be anything in this for Portsmouth? Less than 15 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Been an all-conquering display this from Manchester United. Although Ronaldo has started to make things sparkle. Support here on the overlap from Wes Brown. Long for Van Nistelrooy.
Some stage Portsmouth are going to have to take a gamble and throw a few more bodies forward. And in that, it's going to leave a little bit more space for the likes of Scholes and Smith in midfield, and certainly the opportunities Ronaldo is getting on that right-hand side.
There's O'Neill. And Crisp. Against the shins of Mikel Silvestre, and Portsmouth might fancy the possibility of an equaliser from the corner.
Credit should go to Gary O'Neill, where he dug that pass out to get Loire within striking distance. You know, the one thing about Robert, he does produce normally good quality from set pieces, and really needs something now.
There's Robert's kick, and Van der Sar lost it. Fortunately for him, Rio Ferdinand was right behind him, but now Ronaldo on the break, 2 up and 2 back, and it's Rooney he's played in if he can break free of Griffin. Not the best cross row for Van Nistelrooy.
Interesting to see if the referee has a word with Andy Griffin. This is a couple of occasions where he caught Cristiano Ronaldo. The first one was when Ronaldo had a touch in his own defensive third that took him away past Griffin. Griffin had a little nibble and then had another attempt. He's certainly brightened the game up, hasn't he, since he's come on as a substitute. Ronaldo just loves to run at defenders, and certainly at this stage of the game where players are getting tired. So the last sight you need is seeing somebody like Ronaldo, and of course Sahar, who's just about to come on as a substitute.
Sahar, who's come back with mark with a goal in the Carling Cup tie in the week against West Bromwich Albion. A change is going to take place immediately, and it's Ji-sung Park who's coming off. Sahar, who scored 3 goals against Portsmouth in his career, all of them for his former club Fulham. He's been so unlucky with injuries in his time at Manchester United, Louis Sahar.
So they're going to just play Rooney on this left-hand side now. Sahar will go up top with Van Nistelrooy. With Ronaldo on the right. Certainly some great attacking prowess on the field now for United. Can they turn that into goals?
Here's Sahar. Playing Van Nistelrooy. Rooney! Surely settles it. His usual deadly instinct, and he finds the bottom corner.
Well, they get a little bit lucky. Manchester United, maybe they deserve it with the amount of possession and attempts that they've had. Well, poor Andy Griffin, who really just slid in here, trying to divert the danger. He just thinks he's covering the situation as Van Nistelrooy tries to get in the channel, looking for the ball from Sahar, and then Rooney just following up here. He takes a gamble, he gets his reward, but what a terrific finish. It really was. He hasn't got an awful lot to aim at here, but he finds that bottom corner with unerring accuracy. As I said earlier, he's not been at his best, but he's always capable of coming up with that moment of magic. And he's done it once more up.
And in doing so, he's ended the search for a Premiership goal for the first time here since April. Rooney. O'Brien. Tussle between Biafara and Kieran Richardson.
In many respects, it's been a brave performance by Portsmouth. They haven't let their manager down. We've talked about all the troubles at the football club. It hasn't helped. I'm sure for one moment that Joe Jordan will not use that as an excuse. I know that the professionals, they have to get on with things. And the sooner they get a manager appointed and things settle down, the better.
Made in by O'Brien. For a Portsmouth player, it's cleared though by Mikel Silvestre. Here's Richardson. Now Wayne Rooney. Scholes. Richardson. Ferdinand. And Louis Sahar. Richardson. Rooney.
It's going to be a period of key ball now for Manchester United. I'm thinking of the resources that they've got, throwing on the likes of Sahar and Cristiano Ronaldo. Don't have two players of that ability on the bench, is it?
Here he goes again, Ronaldo.
Rooney has got those dancing feet, doesn't he? Very difficult for defenders.
Here's Stefanovic. Now Robert. Barely been able to get into the game. He's found O'Neill. Here's Todorov. Here's Luar.
I think while it was 1-0, Portsmouth always had that edge of belief that they thought they might just nick something out of this game, but now it's gone to 2-0. The damage limitation exercise now.
Well, they've got 9 days before their next Premiership match away to Tottenham. Plenty of time to address the managerial vacancy issue. Harry Redknapp resigned as manager of Southampton today, saying that it didn't necessarily mean he was on his way to Fratton Park, although all the indications do seem to be that Milan Mandžić is set to reappoint the man who left exactly a year before Alan Perrin was sacked.
Van Nistelrooy! Yes! What a finish. What a finish. I must admit, when I first saw it, I thought, is there a sneaking suspicion he might have strayed offside, but Ronaldo once more. He has really brought the game to life with his ability and his awareness. And once he gets into this situation, maybe Van Nistelrooy just stays onside, but what a delightful little chip over the goalkeeper. Ashdown, very similar to what he did in the first half. He tries to close down Van Nistelrooy quickly and make it very difficult for the United striker, but absolute audacious flick by Manchester United's number 10. And now we've got an emphatic scoreline.
And Ruud van Nistelrooy himself has now scored more Premiership goals this season than the entire Portsmouth squad put together, bearing in mind that one of their 11 was an own goal. His 11th of the campaign in the Premiership.
Brilliant finish, wasn't it? Can't say anything more than that. He doesn't need a massive ratio of goals to attempts, because he seems to convert them very comfortably. He certainly has done in his time at Manchester United. And he did at his previous club, PSV Eindhoven, where also he had a fantastic goal-scoring record.
Against Chelsea and 3-0 here. It doesn't get any easier for Joe Jordan, the man who was thrown into the midst of this difficult situation. And what an awful week it's been for Milan Mandžić, who was a great friend of George Best, attended his funeral today and now has to address the difficult issue of the managerial situation. Is Harry Redknapp about to complete the latest bizarre twist of his South Coast shuffle between Portsmouth and Southampton and back again? He'll find a very different club to the one he left if he does go back. No longer the likes of Hislop and Unsworth, Dzeu and Stone and Kwasi and Yakubu and Berger, Berkovic, Bulafai, Kamara around.
Yeah, there's a lot of left, but there's also a few that have remained. I mean, the goalkeeper, Stefanovic, the skipper, and Andy Griffin. Players like that, Todorov, you'll know all about. Luar. So there's a few familiar faces if Harry is the man that will go back to Portsmouth. These are the games that they probably wouldn't expect to pick anything up from, Rob. It's the games where that sort of bottom set of football clubs that they need to get points against, and ironically their 2 wins have come away from home.
Away match against Spurs, then Portsmouth's new manager, whoever it may be, will have a couple of home games to concentrate on, West Brom and West Ham. Is the defeat here about to worsen, though? Ronaldo's driving at them again.
Well, I feel a bit sorry for Andy Griffin. You know, I said when Laurent Robert came on as a sub, he isn't going to give his left back that much protection. And you know, he moans and groans about being out of this Portsmouth side, but you just have to look at his body language at times, and he shows no interest. And I think that's what frustrates fans. You know, frustrated the Newcastle fans. You know, one moment he was producing moments of magic, then at the time, though, we were just going through the motions, and we just seem to have one of those performances again from him since he's come on as a substitute. You know, if you're upset about being out of the team, well, go and prove people wrong.
So the difference that Ronaldo has made since he came on as a substitute and the difference that Robert has made since he came on as a substitute have been in stark contrast. Todorov. Now Loire. Here's Prisk. Loire. Clearance by Smith. Had to keep a close eye on his focus on that. Here's Salif Jab. Scholes. A little nutmeg. Here's Ronaldo. Brown hesitated, but finally found his man. O'Neill. Smith. Rooney. 2 more minutes for Portsmouth to endure. Loire. There's Robert. Oh, well done.
Why are you looking at me as if I'm surprised?
Well, somewhere his new manager, whoever it will be, is watching. Somewhere that new manager may be looking at how he can terminate the loan agreement.
Well, when you're near the bottom of the table, you need all hands to the pump, and you know, I feel sorry for Joe Jordan, you know, because when you think during his career, you know, he was a wholehearted player, gave everything, you know, and he's worked so hard just to hold on to things while the whole football club has gone haywire at times, and you know, he deserves better, I think, from certain players. I certainly absolve a number of these Portsmouth players today because they have given the caretaker manager everything. But I have to say there's a question mark against one or two.
Here goes Ronaldo. Here Farah. Started on a sombre note for Sir Alex Ferguson with his attendance at George Best's funeral in Belfast. Ends in more uplifting circumstances with this latest Premiership win. The breakthrough coming against Portsmouth inside 20 minutes thanks to Paul Scholes' header, ending a 22-match barren scoring run. And 2 goals in the last 10 minutes rounding it off, an instinctive strike from Wayne Rooney, and a really cute finish at the end from Ruud van Nistelrooy. But Cristiano Ronaldo came on and really influenced things heavily, in stark contrast to the substitute that Portsmouth sent on, hoping to turn things around for them, Laurent Robert. So their search for a new manager, they hope, will end next week, in the early part of it, because they need to get their problems sorted out pretty quickly. But Manchester United back to within 10 points of Chelsea. Manchester United 3, Portsmouth 0.
Well, that was entirely predictable. Not one of Wayne Rooney's more memorable performances, but another goal for him and 3 more points for Sir Alex's side. It means they climb back to second. Confirmation of that in a moment. Down at the bottom, Portsmouth stay 18th with just 10 points from their first 15 matches played. Only Birmingham and Sunderland below them. Birmingham with a couple of games in hand, of course, so Pompey could well be 19th by the time a new manager takes over. And up top, Manchester United are second again. Liverpool briefly rose to those giddy heights after their 3-0 win against Wigan at lunchtime. So 10 points behind Chelsea with a game in hand. As we said at the start of the programme, the chase is on again. More live football to look forward to tomorrow. Super Sunday features Charlton and Manchester City. Both sides have dipped of late. An important game for them. 3 o'clock Sky Sports 1. And on Monday, one of Birmingham's games in hand against West Ham from 7:30 Sky Sports 1. And right now, from La Liga, it's Real Madrid against Getafe. Switch to Sky Sports Extra for that. So Manchester United had to deal with a heavy rainstorm, but apart from that, it was plain sailing for them. We'll have George's thoughts after the break. Their biggest win at Old Trafford in the league in 2005. Paul Scholes set them on their way. Wayne Rooney and Ruud van Nistelrooy combined to finish things off.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Benfica v Man United, live only on Sky Sports. A must-win for the Reds to guarantee a place in the last 16. 14 live games Tuesday and Wednesday, including AC Milan v Schalke, PSV v Fenerbahce, Arsenal v Ajax, and the big one, Benfica v Man United. The UEFA Champions League, live on Sky Sports.
Arriving cold rain too, very unpleasant, just 5 degrees in Belfast with a freshening breeze. Now as we go through Wednesday night into Thursday, this rain's going to stagger its way eastwards and probably just grind to a halt.